Good morning, you back car. I ordered to open the royal throne room for both of us to feel great during our discussion of today. How do you feel now?
I feel great meeting with Your Majesty the King of Egyptology in the royal throne room.
I think that we have finished the discussion about the measurement of investment in equity securities. What you are going to start with today?
No, we have not finished the whole topic yet. If you recall how we measured investment in equity securities in our latest session, you will realize that we used the fair value, where such fair value is readily determinable. A security has a readily determinable fair value if sales prices or bid and ask quotations are currently available on a securities exchange registered with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission or in the over-counter market. Today, we will discuss how to measure investment in equity securities without a readily determinable fair value.
Is there any measurement alternative?
Yes, an entity may elect a measurement alternative for an investment in equity securities without a readily determinable fair value. However, measurement alternative is not a requirement. It is an available election to entities to measure certain investments in equity securities that qualify for its use.
How we can arrive at the measurement alternative in this case?
We can arrive at the measurement alternative by the following equation: cost minus impairment loss, if any, plus or minus changes resulting from observable price changes for the identical or a similar investment of the same issuer.
In fact, your last statement is totally ambiguous and needs to be converted into parts.
I agree with you. The cost in the equation is obviously clear and known, but the impairment loss needs to be identified. To arrive at the impairment loss, a test should be made. A qualitative assessment of whether an investment is impaired must be performed each reporting date. An investment is impaired if the fair value is lower than its carrying amount. A qualitative assessment may consider many impairment indicators, such as significant deterioration of earnings performance, credit rating, or asset quality.
What if the qualitative assessment indicated potential impairment?
If the qualitative assessment indicates potential impairment, the entity must estimate the fair value of the investment and perform a quantitative impairment test. A carrying amount of an investment is compared with its fair value. An impairment loss is recognized in the income statement for the excess of carrying amount over the fair value.
The part of the equation that includes the cost and the impairment loss is clear to me now. What is about the other part of the equation that includes the changes resulting from observable price changes for the identical or similar investment in the same issuer?
To identify observable price changes, a reasonable effort should be made to identify relevant transactions by the same issuer that occurred on or before the balance sheet date. Accordingly, an entity does not need to make an exhaustive search for all observable price changes.
I may have a contribution here by identifying how we can differentiate between the identical and the similar. Identical means the same in every detail. For example, two cars which are the same make, model, engine size, and color are in theory identical. Similar means strongly resembling but not identical. For example, two cars which are the same make, model, and engine size but different colors are similar.
Yes, that is why different rights and obligations of the securities should be considered when identifying whether a security issued by the same issuer is similar to the equity investment.
Is there any matters to be considered if measurement alternative is selected?
Yes, if measurement alternative is selected, it must be applied until investment has a readily determinable fair value. The entity must reassess at each reporting period whether the fair value of an equity investment is readily determinable. When the fair value of equity investment is readily determinable, the investment is measured at fair value through income statement.
What you are going to talk about the next session?
I plan to talk about the decision tree for measuring equity securities, which is a summary of all the 3 previous sessions in the form of questions and answers of yes or no.